Hey everyone, GM, and thanks for joining us. Super excited to have you all here. This AMA session ahead of Rectov Solana Rust Security Bootcamp. So I'm Greg, and we started Rectov about 2 years ago as a research community on all things Rust and Rust security. So back then we were just a small group of people running Rust security workshops, podcasts, just doing some community research, and that quickly evolved into like a more structured efforts, including the publication of the Solana security strategy that you may have seen. So the bootcamp is the next step in that journey. And we've built a structured, high context curriculum for engineers who want to go deep on smart contract security and actually understand how things work under the hood of Rust. So since announcing the bootcamp just over a week ago, we got more than 1,000 applications in, and ranging from Solana developers, auditors, protocol engineers, students, and researchers around the world. But we've only selecting 75 people for the first cohort. We are doing it to keep things tight and focused, especially with the amount of mentorship support we'll be offering. Why are we doing this? So Rust is a systems language of modern crypto infrastructure and beyond. And the demand for Rust devs is huge. The demand for Rust security is even bigger from what we can see now. And reality is that path to learning Rust has been pretty scattered. We are here to close this gap. And the mission of Rectov is to make Rust security training practical, accessible, and something engineers actually want to do. So this bootcamp is part of that mission. And we couldn't do it without our collaborators. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to some of them, such as Solana Foundation. Just wanted to give a shout out to Gui and Jacob for supporting this effort and helping us scale this educational layer of Solana ecosystem. And then to Daniel, formal verification engineer at Runtime Verification. He's tuning in from Rectov account today. So he'll be leading the module 1 on Rust internals and compiler theory. Mario is an independent security researcher from Cantina. He's going to be joining us to lead the module 2 on Solana-specific security and exploit patterns. And our amazing mentors, Farouk, Frank Castle, Nerling, who will be supporting learners throughout the cohort, helping with questions and pointing people to the right direction on everything Rust and Solana security. Here's what you should expect timeline-wise. So June 25th, which is tomorrow, we'll close applications. It's going to be done by end of day, PST time zone, Pacific time zone. Then June 28th, Friday, we'll reach out to accepted applicants with all the onboarding instructions. June 30th, on Sunday, the bootcamp officially will kick off. We'll have a town hall. And then on July 1st, Tuesday, I guess it's next Tuesday, right? First lecture will happen. And yeah, the bootcamp runs over the 6 weeks. It's made of 2 in-depth modules. Will culminate in a capstone audit-style security project. And with that, I want to hand it over to Daniel, who will walk you through module 1, Rust internals, memory layout, ownership, lifetimes, and what that all matters if you want to write secure and performing code. So yes, Daniel, feel free to take over from here.
Hi, can you hear me clearly, Greg?
Yeah,
you can hear me?
we can hear you. Yeah, it's all good.
Nice. Yeah, my name's Danny. As Greg mentioned, I've been working at Runtime Verification, doing formal verification and a lot of Rust related things for the last 3 years. My education background is I studied in Australia at the University of Queensland. I did philosophy and mathematics as my undergraduate, and then I learned some computer stuff in a diploma on top of that when I realized that it would be far more exhilarating than philosophy and mathematics combined. So I want to talk about, what I want to teach in this course is primarily theory around Rust and in terms of it as a programming language. I have a belief. I've been teaching different things, whether it's mathematics or computer science related stuff for a while. And I've taught at Rare Skills, I've taught Rust a few times, and I've noticed that some people have quite a knowledge gap when it comes to really understanding what the goal of Rust as a programming language is. It is a state of the art language which is achieving some miraculous things that have always been desired, and understanding what those things are, I think is really beneficial. And I don't think it's beneficial in terms of just it's nice to know. I think that the more that you understand the details of this language, the more empowered you are to wield it in a way where you're going to get the most out of it. And from a security perspective, it allows you to see gaps in what people are doing when they're misusing things or when they're doing things in a suboptimal way. So I want to talk about in this course, or I want to teach, things about the memory layout, the details of what ownership of data actually is, lifetime model, how that's changed from lexical lifetimes to non-lexical lifetimes, and the compiler behavior, and how we can see memory bugs and prevent them using Rust. I think it's important that people who use Rust get this understanding to get the most out of it, I said. And I think we exist in a world where Rust is so popular that people learn it for a purpose, in this case Web3, and they can skip those details, but I think they'd be more empowered if they did it. So if you are someone who has not looked at computer science before, or you haven't looked at it maybe since university, and you've started using Rust, but you don't really understand all of these, all of the principles that people talk about, this is going to be probably a good opportunity for you to have 3 weeks in this module to go through all of that stuff and understand the important 80% and take that away. I think that's everything that I had to cover. I might pass it over to Mario.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mario, we can hear you well.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So hello everyone, I'm Mario. I'm a security researcher for a lot of time. I've been in security in Web2 before as well, and I moved to blockchain around 6 years ago. And I'm doing more. I did a lot of EVM. And around 2 years ago, I started Soldier, which is basically the only package manager for Solidity. And then, because Soldier was built in Rust, I said, okay, it's time for me to move also to non-EVM, let's say, side of business. And I started doing a lot of Solana and Rust code bases, Rust clients, and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna lead the module 2, which will be mostly focused on security. I mean, if my colleagues' course will be basically a lot of, let's say, coding, if I may say, my only purpose for this course is to teach you how to think as a security researcher, how to try to make you understand how bad guys are thinking, and so on and so forth. So it will be a bit more like theoretical, if I might say. We'll have some applications as well, but from my point of view, it's important for you to understand how bad guys are basically thinking. And what I'll try to cover is basically Solana, a bit of Solana, not going too much into how the whole node and so on works. I'm just going to try a really high level of how it works. Then I'm going to go basically in the whole account model, PDAs, Anchor, how can you use Anchor to build secure Solana, basically secure Solana programs. And probably we're gonna finish with how can you audit a code base, how can you fuzz it, like how different approaches, how to create mental models around it, and so on and so forth. And we'll try to finish with kind of like an audit, and I will try to create an exercise for you, for those who participate, to audit basically a code base that will have bugs, and just as an exercise, and just to to see how you will do it if you basically get to review some code. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that the whole point of module 2 is to think from a security point of view, not to actually code, because coding also can be done, but it's very important for you to understand the security aspect of what you write. And I think that's all from my side as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Mario. So yeah, at this point, I think it's a good time to just knock out some of the most common questions we've seen to come in from the applicants. And yeah, just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'll ask and answer some of the questions that we got pretty frequently over the last week. So first of all, if do I need Solana experience to join? And you don't need Solana experience for module 1. That's focused mostly on Rust internals. But for module 2, you're actually you'll be having context. You'll have to have some Solana context. It's very important, like how programs are deployed with Anchor, how accounts work, what BDA is, and that will definitely help. So I highly recommend to go over the official Solana docs and just doing basic tutorials, maybe something like Blue Shift. And yeah, also, this is something that I would strongly encourage you to do before, if you guys are accepted to the bootcamp. Even if not, this is still a good thing to do because we'll be running cohorts consequently and we'll have more to come. Second question, what if I'm new to Rust? And if you're totally new to Rust, this might not be the best place to start. We assume a working understanding of Rust at this point. So things like ownership, borrows, lifetimes, control flow, enums, traits, we assume that you guys are familiar with that. We published the full prep guide, Rust prep guide that you guys should have received on your emails if you applied to the bootcamp. We had a outreach with all the materials earlier today. And yeah, even if you don't get into this cohort, we encourage you to use this guide to get ready for the next one. So is this bootcamp free? Yes, this bootcamp is completely free. It's supported by Solana Foundation. So this cohort is going to be accessible to everyone. So yeah, feel free to apply. You have time till tomorrow. It's ractoff.xyz/bootcamp. And how much time should I dedicate weekly for the bootcamp? We envision roughly 6 to 7 hours per week, something like 6 to 8 hours minimum, because we have at least 2 weekly lectures every week. If we include the reading assignments, reading materials, some practice assignments, and office hours with interactive mentorship, if we include that, it's going to add up to something like up to 8 hours a week. So yeah, you should plan for that if you want to be a part of the cohort. And also, what happens after the bootcamp? So if you complete the full bootcamp and pass this capstone audit project, you'll get, first of all, a public certificate of completion. You'll get a priority access to future Rectoff projects, some advanced tracks, and contributor roles. Potential mentorship or job placement connections will be vouching for top talent to get connected with projects that are looking for Rust hires at this moment. And there's plenty of such roles in the market. And ideally, the skills and confidence to audit Solana projects and secure your own if you're building something. So this is, I think this is everything on my end. I would like to open the stage for questions. So feel free to raise your hand and we'll get you on board if you guys want to ask something, and we'll happy to answer. Okay, it looks like we don't really have any questions.
I might be able to say something as well, Greg.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Danny. Yeah.
In terms of the Rust experience for what if I'm new to Rust, I came up with some things that I think would be good to read, but I want to emphasize the fact that if you work with Rust, or if you've got some familiarity with it, I just expect there to be some sort of working familiarity where you're not going to get confused by the syntax. If I write a trait, I don't really plan to dig down into the details of that stuff if you haven't seen it before, in terms of, oh, well, you know, you need to work things in this way to make sure it works. And most importantly, nothing is more important than if you're really interested and you're worried. If you try hard, I'm sure you're going to do great. Interest outweighs experience usually in education. If you're just really excited to learn, you're probably going to learn.
On this note, we actually have 8 questions. It seems like 8 people are requesting to speak, so I'll start with the first one. Kira, please go ahead. Yeah, it seems like I just approved you as a speaker. Yeah, go ahead.
GM, everyone. My question is, what would you expect the average graduate of the bootcamp to be able to do after graduating?
Yeah, Daddy Mario, do you want to add something here, maybe?
Yeah, I can say something. So, from my point of view, what you need, I mean, after the bootcamp, what I expect from a security point of view is to at least, let's say, get the common bugs out of your program and understand a basic security mindset when you build something or if you look at something. That's what I expect. I mean, there is nothing that can actually, make you better than just practice. So I don't expect you to be a Chad security researcher after this, but I just hope I pave the way for you to at least understand how you should think as from a security point of view. That's what I expect, and maybe open your appetite for for security.
Got it. Yeah, so my second question is, I understand you guys are going over Rust fundamentals and auditing or like common security vulnerabilities with Anchor, but does that include actual Rust like auditing, like Rust, like programs written in native Rust?
You mean like Solana programs written in Rust or like
Yep.
general? Ah, okay, yeah. Well, we're gonna focus mostly on Anchor. Not gonna
Mhm.
touch a lot of like real Solana because it's a bit, I mean, kind of like not so used anymore. I mean, it is still used, but not so used. Everyone focused on Anchor, and I want to focus more on that for now because it's widely used and makes more sense to teach you that part for now. Anyhow, the Solana ones, like the raw Solana, it's hard to teach because it's a bit hard to I mean, that's why Anchor also was built, to to make Solana development easier. So yeah, it will take more time to actually go deep into Solana Rust raw language than doing the Anchor one.
Yep, got it. Thank you.
All right, we have another request from Nasreen. I just invited you to speak.
Hear me?
Yep, can hear you well.
Cool. Thanks for creating this session and awesome bootcamp. So my question is, in terms of the desired applicant, are you guys looking more for people who will explicitly and immediately pivot into security researching full time, or is a dev that works on Solana development also equally desirable? I'm asking because I'm off the former, where my work involves contributing to Solana development. I would love to dive deeper, but I'm not sure if I have this immediate desire to switch into full-time security research.
So from my point of view, is like you have to. I mean, it's good if you are a dev and you do and you learn a bit of security. It's fine. You don't need to pivot to being full-time security researcher. My goal is to either teach you as a dev how to think as a security researcher or actually be a security researcher if you want afterward. Anyhow, don't as I said, don't expect me to create after this week's chat security researcher. That's why also the bootcamp it's tailored for both aspiring security researchers and devs who want to write actually secure code because there is nothing more secure than covering security from all parts of a development, not only on a security audit.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Let's move to the next request we got from 0x and Say. Just approved you as a speaker. Okay, so feel free to. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, GM. So my question is, will the bootcamp help improving our overall understanding of smart contract in Rust, even beyond Solana? For instance, auditing other Rust-based Ethereum clients or Substrate, for instance? Or is it more focused just on Solana?
It's just
That was the
Solana.
question.
Yeah, it's just Solana. We're not gonna go into Substrate or any other type of. I mean, Daniel will probably teach you like a very good Rust knowledge that you can apply on many code bases, like in many let's say frameworks and so on. But the security part will be solely on Solana and Anchor.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Mario said there, that I think the things that you'll gain from module 1 should help you on your Rust journey in any smart contract environment, but also beyond that, say you wanted to look at infrastructure of Solana or infrastructure of Substrate, how are the smart contract SDKs written, these kinds of things, you will have a better mental model of what is going on with the language. And at the same time, though, while Mario won't be teaching a different language in particular, learning about security in a context does help broadly, I think, as well. Like it's not that it won't be completely irrelevant to another context, but you will be certainly learning the specifics of Solana.
Cool. Let's move to the next question that we have. Okay, we have Noor Ajar. Just gave you the speaker access.
I just wanna. I'm actually a SOC analyst, not a developer, not a basically blue team. So I don't know if I'm qualified to apply. I'm not good at coding.
Yeah, definitely. You should brush up your skills before applying because it's going to be pretty advanced and a fast-paced bootcamp. So getting some Rust foundations. Again, if you applied before, you can definitely apply and we'll share some Rust fundamentals materials that you can go over and prepare maybe for the next cohorts. So yeah, feel free to do so. We'll share some materials with you. However, yeah, it's probably not going to be a good cohort to start with without any foundations of computer science and Rust. So yeah, definitely encourage you doing that before.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. All right, cool. Let's move to the next speaker. To the next question. We actually have 10 more. Let's make it fast. All right, we have H30X. Just gave you an access. Just speak.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you well.
Yeah, thanks for arranging this session and the bootcamp. My question was, for the sessions and the live sessions that you're going to be running, what's the time zone and the times that you're planning to do that? And say if we're working full time, is it something, if it conflicts with the schedule, can we catch up on it? Or is it something that you want us to take time out for and make sure that we're there live?
We will definitely try to align with the majority of, as you have seen on the application, we have a question about the time zones. What time zone are you in? Because we try to design and align with your time zone. However, at this point of time, I think what we will do is we will do the sessions in the morning Eastern time zone, something like 8 a.m. Eastern time zone, and then it should probably be afternoon European time zones. And then it's going to be evening for Australia or China or India, wherever you are. So we'll try to get together all the time zones, but we'll try to align with the majority of applicants that we got in for the cohort 1. So at this point, it's roughly probably going to be the time zones that I just mentioned.
No worries. Thank you.
Sure. Cool. Thanks for the question. I think that's actually a very important one. We'll announce more details on the time zones and the bootcamp curriculum soon. The next question is from Man of Steel, Versatile Being X. All right, please come join us for your question. Okay. Do you want to unmute?
Sorry, do you call me?
Hey, I think we can hear you. Yep.
Okay. So literally, I wanted to ask, right? Some of us are already like Rust devs already. So I don't know how is the selection process goes. I'm trying to up my Rust game with security literally. So that's what I'm asking. What does it take for someone to qualify for the program, for the security program?
I think I barely heard the question, honestly. I probably didn't even hear it, honestly. It was too noisy on the background. I don't know if you can try it again, or you can maybe try and message this under the post of this AMA session, and we can try and respond.
Okay, I'll drop a message.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. We'll respond after the session is done. Cool. Let's move to the next question from Conquest. All right, just gave you the speaker access. Okay, so I don't think you're joining. Let's probably move to the next request we got from just approved you as a speaker, or Eva. Apologies for mispronouncing the name. Just send the invite for. Okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So my question would be about the scope of the capstone projects. Could you give an example of what would be a great scope and depth of a capstone that you're expecting us to produce at the end of the bootcamp? Thank you.
I think we're still designing the capstone project, so maybe Mario can add a few words here. But yeah, it's still in the works.
Yeah, it's still in the works. Unfortunately, it's not something defined yet because this is also our first bootcamp. We try to see. I mean, we need to see how it works, right? Because we don't know how intensive we should do it yet, and we don't know how much time people want to spend on different assignments and so on and so forth. What we will try to do is for sure, like at least create some sort of like project you can look over and find some issues. Now, how extensive it can be, we will see. The scope of the project will be actually for you just to get in the in the workflow of security review, like how to look at bugs and so on and so forth. Don't expect to to be maybe something like super complicated with like a lot of edge cases and so on and so forth. Because then if you one thing I learned over the years is that if you create something super complicated, people usually give up, and the point of that project is to try to teach you how to look at different bugs and so on and so forth, not to make you lose 3 months just to look at something.
Thank you.
Yeah,
if I may, just
sorry, go ahead.
Still a quick question. So would you be also going over, for example, transaction errors, where you have like you can see on the scanner, or is it more bugs of your own written code in Rust?
We are not gonna get over debugging transactions and so on because again, the point is to look at security. Basically, the point is to look from a security point of view. We are not going into a debug or coding and so on because that's more like a development part, which cannot be covered in this bootcamp. We have to keep it short somehow. There are so many things we can speak about, but unfortunately, we have to actually nail just one, and that's at least. So Daniel will try to nail the Rust part, and I'm going to try to nail the security part. There are lots and lots of tangents we can go and so on, but that will mean the bootcamp will be 6 months, not 3 weeks.
Thank you.
And also just wanted to mention is that this is the pilot bootcamp. So we will be listening to a lot of feedback from folks. So we'll have some feedback forms during the cohort that you can submit and provide as much feedback. We'll just be iterating every cohort going forward. We'll be adding maybe more stuff, maybe removing some of the stuff that is less important. So definitely your feedback matters a lot. And yeah, if you're thinking you have any ideas that should be covered in the bootcamp that is not currently mentioned on the curriculum, feel free to message and we'll try and emphasize that if we have time. Cool. Thanks, Eva. And we'll move to the next question. All right. We have Conquest again. I think you tried to speak last time. You want to try again? Yeah, I think we'll move forward again to the next person. We have Kayan Novoit just approved you as a speaker.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. I just had a question. After from the mail, you said that we had to send an answer write-up to it. After that, is there anything else we have to do at the moment? Like, is there any test or anything that we're going to have, or is it just going to be decided based on our answers which we provide?
The onboarding for the first cohort is going to be based on the answers. Mostly, we're going to prioritize people with intermediate and advanced Rust knowledge at this point for the first cohort. And then for the following cohorts, we might expand the scope of education, because we see a huge number of applicants actually being beginners in Rust, and we also want to include them in the education cycle. But as you know, security is more of an advanced topic, so we'll definitely prioritize at this point people with just advanced expertise, and we'll judge based on the form submission at this point.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. All right, cool. So let's move forward to the next question. We have Nero Fia, just approved you as a speaker.
Hello? Did I interrupt someone?
No, you did not. Please go forward with your question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, my question was similar. I actually have been programming with Rust for the last 2 years, but I don't think my GitHub showcases that. So I wanted to ask if I was to whip something up real quick today to deploy to GitHub to showcase my expertise, could I do that to increase my chances of being accepted?
You can try for sure. We'll be analyzing some GitHub activity. This is going to be a part of analysis process, but yeah, feel free to do so. I think that this might increase your chances.
Okay, in that case, I will DM you or whoever I need to, Rectov account or in the Discord with a link to what I've deployed later tonight.
Yeah, feel free to drop it in the Discord, share with the community. Maybe some folks may be interested in that. So yeah, we'll try and include that in the evaluation process if we can.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Cool. We have Jimmy's just approved you as speaker. Yeah, feel free to go forward with your question.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
I wanted to ask about like if someone finishes the course, the bootcamp, how ready are they going to be for competitive platforms like Antina or like let's say bug bounties or let's say private audits?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think Mario is the best person to respond to that.
Yeah, so if I understood the question correctly, you said that after the bootcamp, how ready are you to compete?
Or do a private audit for a client, let's say.
Well, I cannot guarantee that you, as I said as well at the beginning, don't expect me to create a chat security reviewer because it's impossible in 3 weeks. I mean, if it would have been that easy, everyone will be one. The point of the course is mostly to introduce you into security and try to make you think as a security researcher. But I cannot. The rest is up to you. How versed, knowledgeable, and so on and so forth are you in like finding bugs and so on and so forth. I'm gonna just try to create the mindset. The rest is up to you. I cannot guarantee that. Yeah, you will go in. You will be ready to give private reviews, for example. You know what I mean?
So something that I might add to that as well is I think one good way to think of education in a format like this is it's more like amplification. So if you are interested and engaged, you learn tools and thought patterns and the ability to investigate yourself, and then you can take that away and you should have a much easier time becoming a auditor or becoming a security researcher. But the course itself, it can't create that. It just creates you the tools to go and become that.
Yeah, that was a good response. Thanks, Danny and Mario. Okay, so the next question is from M. Just gave you the access to speak. We cannot hear you. You're muted. All right, let's move to the next question then. And yeah, if you still have questions, guys, feel free to drop them in Discord or under this AMA announcement. We'll get back to all of them.
Hi, let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, are we going to cover the historical incidents or historical exploits that happened on Solana?
Sorry, can you repeat your question, please, again?
Are we going to cover the historical exploits or the past incidents regarding the security breach? And that are we going to cover that in our bootcamp?
We are gonna try to cover some of them. We can't cover all of them. Again, it's just. I mean, we're gonna try to cover it. At least conceptually, some of them as part of one of let's say as a specific lecture. But we're gonna see how in depth we're gonna go again, because we need to cover. I mean, again, there are lots of stuff we need to cover, and we need to see how we can rationalize that.
Yeah, I can also drop you a link to the Medium article if you're interested. You can check it out in Discord. I think it was previously sent one of the security researchers in our community, the article that actually overviews all historical Solana hacks on a high level. And we'll be going again over the most important ones on the module 2.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, the next question is from 0xcran. Please go ahead. All right, it seems like we have 2 last questions. I just invited the rest people. Yeah, we can hear you.
Based on if someone has a security background, cybersecurity in terms of DevSecOps, right? And they also have a coding or programming background, but not specifically Rust. So they understand basic programming concepts. Would they stand a chance if they quickly go through the Rust materials and try to get up to speed? Because I've already been introduced to Rust. I know how to write some functions and some things, but it's very basic, and I don't have any project to show for, but I have a security background in DevSecOps, and I've done a bit of blockchain security as well.
Sorry, I kind of missed a bit. So you understand security, you've done security, and
yeah, in terms of DevSecOps.
But you're not particularly familiar with Rust necessarily. Did I get that right?
Yes,
Okay.
But I have programming experience. Yeah.
It's honestly not that bad of a place to start. Already having security knowledge, already having programming experience is a good platform if you could just before the course started do what you could to get familiar with the syntax of Rust, and there were those documents that I provided as that I think Greg sent out, and that plus already having a strong knowledge base so that you're just not unfamiliar. As I'm writing Rust, I'm just going to write it and assume that everyone's familiar with the syntax of whatever it would be, functions, methods, all this sort of thing. So if that would be something that confused you, that's not good. But I would encourage you to try and
so I got the materials you sent. That's what I'm saying, that if I get familiar with that, what can I do? What else can I do to make sure that I get a chance, or I stand a chance to be selected?
I think we're evaluating based on the answers you provide. There's not that much time left before the cohort starts, so we'll be announcing the results in 4 days. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Rust, but you can definitely try and just get up to speed with the materials that we just sent out. Feel free to reach out to us, update us on it, and we might consider you for the first cohort as well. However, we'll be running those consequently, as I said. So if you're not getting in for the first one, you'll have a chance to get into the second one if you show the progress on over the last months or so. So no worries on that. Cool. We have last question, I believe, from 0x Nonso. Feel free to unmute and ask your question.
All right. So I want to know when is the next cohort after this?
We will be announcing that. We cannot confirm the exact dates at this point. From my understanding, it's going to be closer to mid-September, but we will not commit to exact timelines at this point because it depends on multiple reasons. And we'll try to evaluate your feedback and improve on the feedback. And we want to start the cohort number 2 as soon as we are ready to do that. And I believe it's going to be probably September this year. Cool. So, so Christopher, you're the last person. Let's move forward with your question. I think we'll wrap up with our discussion with that.
All right. Thank you very much. I probably have one question, which is, since you spoke of practice, are there any open source projects that would help me probably keep up with my security or auditing skills that I would have learned from this bootcamp? If probably I did not land a job. Can I check?
Yeah, I understood you, but I'm not sure I got, you mean open source project? I'm not sure I understood the question correctly. Can you rephrase it, please?
Oh, so I was just asking for places to practice, and I thought that maybe open source is a great place to actually do some bit of practice of the skills that we shall have learned.
Okay. Got it. Okay, yeah. So security contests. There are so many right now. You can just try sharpen your skills there. There is no other way of doing stuff than just jumping into. I would not advise. This is a thing I advise every new security researcher. I would not advise starting private reviews yet, because private reviews, until you get some experience, private reviews are very tricky. It can affect your reputation as well. If you, for example, it's understandable at the beginning, maybe you don't catch, for example, every bug that is in the code, right? But if you market yourself as a security researcher and start doing private audits, and the client may see that you did not catch everything and might not hire you in the future. So the first step is to either, like I just said, start doing looking at a lot of open source projects and so on, doing bug bounties or like competitions, because on those you can actually learn, you can see what you missed in the competitions, for example, like, okay, I did not think about this bug and so on and so forth, and you can learn even more.
Something that I might bring up is I've taught Rust from a Web3 lens or to more beginner students, and something that I often have advised them and is, if you aren't familiar with smart contracts as much, a good way to get familiar with them before you start auditing might be to try and write one yourself. Write an AMM in Solana if you have never really worked with an AMM before, or you don't really understand how they work. And I think that this is good because A, you're going to have to look and read through the materials in order to understand it. But B, you're going to be good at identifying problems if you've run into them and had to overcome them yourself. Like if you've got hit by a trick, you're usually pretty good at spotting the trick again. But obviously it depends on how familiar you are with different things for whether something like that would be useful.
Awesome. I think we'll wrap up the AMA at this point. There's been a lot of questions, and if you guys still have any questions, feel free to drop them in Discord or under this post on Twitter, on X. So yeah, great to meet everyone. Great questions. I think, yeah, we'll announce the applicants again, the participants of the bootcamp by June 28th. So wait for the email, and yeah, let's be in touch. And if you haven't applied yet, you have a chance to do it by tomorrow. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mario and Daniel.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.